Imagine a time long before our modern maps, before the oceans had names we recognize, and before our history books were even written. In this age of myth and legend, one man sailed beyond the very edge of the known world. The Viking explorer who discovered America nearly 500 years before Christopher Columbus set sail. Born in Greenland around the year 970, Leif was the son of a legendary figure in his own right, Eric the Red. His father was a fierce Norseman, exiled from Iceland for his violent deeds, who then went on to establish the first European settlement in Greenland. Growing up in this harsh, remote land, Leif was shaped by the unforgiving environment. Life was a constant struggle for survival against a backdrop of colossal icebergs, raging storms, and the vast, seemingly endless sea. This environment didn't just teach him how to survive. It forged his character and ignited a fire within him. It was a world where you either mastered the ocean or were consumed by it. Unlike many of his Viking contemporaries, whose stories are filled with raids and conquest, Leif Erikson was driven by something different. It wasn't just the thirst for glory or gold that pushed him to the horizon. It was an insatiable curiosity, a deep-seated desire to know what lay beyond the familiar shores. He inherited his father's adventurous spirit, but he channeled it into exploration rather than conflict. The pivotal moment in Leif's life came around the year 1000. He was sailing from Norway back to Greenland, tasked by the Norwegian king Olaf Tryggvason to bring Christianity to the Greenlandic settlers. But the North Atlantic is a fickle and powerful force. A violent storm caught his longship, tearing it from its intended course and pushing it westward, far into uncharted waters. For days, perhaps weeks, Leif and his crew were at the mercy of the wind and waves, lost in a vast gray emptiness they never knew existed. But then, as despair might have set in, something miraculous happened. Through the mist, they saw it, land. Not the familiar icy coasts of Greenland, but something entirely new. A vibrant green coastline teeming with life. As they drew closer, they saw dense forests, the likes of which they had never seen in their sparsely wooded homeland. They found rivers so full of salmon that they were amazed. And, perhaps most famously, they discovered wild grapes growing in abundance, a fruit unheard of in their northern world. It was a land of plenty, a paradise compared to the harsh realities of Greenland. Leif, captivated by its fertility and the discovery of the grapevines, named this new world Vinland, the land of wine. What makes Leif's story even more remarkable is his approach. When his crew landed, they weren't there as conquerors in the typical Viking fashion. Their primary mission was exploration and survival. They built shelters, creating a small, temporary settlement to spend the winter. They explored the surrounding territory, mapping its resources and marveling at its natural wealth. They even encountered the indigenous people of the land, whom the Norse sagas refer to as Scrowlings. While their interactions were complex and eventually turned hostile, Leif's initial expedition was not one of invasion, but of discovery and attempted settlement. Leif and his crew eventually returned to Greenland, their ship laden with timber and tales of the wondrous Vinland. His discovery was monumental. It proved that the world was far larger and more complex than anyone in his part of the world had ever imagined. It opened a new chapter, however brief, in the history of exploration. Following his journey, other Norse expeditions, including one led by his brother Thorvald, attempted to establish a permanent colony in Vinland. Fortunately, these attempts were short-lived. Conflicts with the native population and the immense difficulty of maintaining a settlement so far from home ultimately led the Vikings to abandon their North American outpost after only a few years. For centuries, Leif Erikson's voyage was relegated to the realm of myth, preserved only in the Icelandic sagas, epic poems, and stories passed down through generations. mainstream European history remained unaware of, or simply ignored, this incredible achievement. The story of America's discovery was instead credited to Columbus, who arrived on the shores of the Caribbean in 1492. But history has a way of revealing its secrets. In the 1960s, a breakthrough discovery sent shockwaves through the historical community. Archaeologists Helge and Ann Stein Inkst unearthed the remains of a Viking settlement at a site called Lonceau Meadows in Newfoundland, Canada. They found Norse-style turf houses, a smithy for working iron, and artifacts that were unmistakably of Viking origin. Carbon dating confirmed that the site was occupied right around the year 1000, the exact time of Leif Erikson's voyages. The sagas were not myths, they were history. The physical evidence proved beyond any doubt that Vikings had not only reached North America, but had lived there 5 centuries before Columbus. The legend of Leif Erikson was true. Today, Leif Erikson is recognized as the first European to set foot in the Americas. But his story is more than just a historical footnote. He was more than just a Viking. He was a visionary, an explorer who dared to sail off the map. He was a bridge between 2 worlds that had existed in complete isolation from one another. His voyage is a powerful reminder that history is often written by the victors, but the truth endures, waiting to be rediscovered. It teaches us that the spirit of discovery doesn't belong to the names most famous in textbooks, but to the brave souls who have the courage to face the unknown, to push beyond their limits, and to sail into the horizon, guided only by the stars and their own curiosity. Leif Erikson's legacy is not one of conquest, but of courage. It's a testament to the human desire to explore, to understand, and to see what lies just over the next wave. His forgotten journey, now reclaimed by history, challenges our understanding of the past and inspires us to keep exploring the frontiers of our own world. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the hidden corners of history. I'll see you in the next video.